Whether you're buying or selling your home, get the benefit of expertise.
Hey, well, compliments to the show. You're really hitting on the subjects and you're telling the truth. I appreciate you.
Meet the team at dangemus.com. And now, filling in for Dan Gemus, your host, Joyce Blackmere.
Welcome back, everyone. Thank you so much for tuning in. I'm Joyce Blackmere, Director of Sales and Broker with the Dan Gemus team. I have Aaron Blackmere in studio with me this afternoon, and we are fortunate to have Chris Gibb from Gibb Insurance Brokers on the line with us as well. Hi, Chris. How's it going?
Oh, very good, Joyce. How are you and Aaron doing today?
Fabulous.
Wonderful.
Fabulous. We're just, we're going to finish up the show here, and then we're going to go check out Open Air in Amherstburg this afternoon and see what's happening in town.
It's fabulous downtown Amherstburg. It doesn't get any better than that.
Right? No kidding. No kidding. So, Chris, I hear that we have had a local resident have issues with travel insurance.
Yes. There was, I thought this would be a good or an interesting thing to discuss. There was a local Windsor-Essex County resident in the news who had a heart attack. I believe it was a heart attack in the States. Ended up with a $650,000 U.S. hospital bill.
Oh my!
And even though he had travel insurance, he's being told that it's not going to be covered. So I thought I'd talk about that situation a little bit.
Yeah, I think that's really, really important to talk about.
Since we're so close to a border,
yes.
too.
Well, exactly. I mean, many of us go over to the States, every week or even more frequently than that. And one of the things that you have to realize about travel insurance, and this is whether you buy your own individual policy or you have an employer-sponsored program, there's generally language in the policy that will say a pre-existing condition can be covered as long as it's been stable for a certain amount of time, whether that be 90 days, 120 days. And I think from reading the news stories, this fellow, his heart issue, his pre-existing condition had changed for the worst, and he assumed he had coverage, but unfortunately that was something that was excluded from his policy.
Wow.
Yeah, that's not a surprise that you want to find out after the fact.
Exactly. The worst thing you can ever do with any type of insurance is assume that you're covered. For anybody who's listening, if you have any type of pre-existing condition, you have to discuss it with your insurance provider to be sure that there's no change in your coverage. And that can just be a situation where the doctor prescribes a different dosage of medication, or they've done some tests and they found out something is a little bit worse. It can really affect you. And this poor fellow, his family, $650,000 U.S.
Insane.
While you're recovering is not a fun thing to find out you're on the hook for it.
No, who has money like that just lying around, right? Like that's terrible. So what's your recommendation then, Chris, around that? Because I mean, living on the border, you're right. Like we go across all the time. Everybody, I'm guessing everybody who does should have some sort of travel insurance. Is there such thing as like a travel policy that you have all the time, or how's that work?
Oh yeah, those are simple. We sell those all the time. You can get what we call an annual policy, which covers you every time you leave the province. It can cover you for 5, 7, 10, 30 days, and that way, if you have some type of emergency, you can rely on that coverage to pay the bill. My brother had a situation. He was in Tennessee and he was riding a bike and got into an accident, had to go to an emergency room. I think the bill ended up being about $25,000-$30,000 U.S.
Jeez.
And it was just a freak accident that he got cut off and crashed his bicycle. So it can happen. You can fall down the stairs at Tiger Stadium. You can be hit by a car. You could, break a leg.
Let's remember those old.
Remember
the old Joe Louis Arena steps? You definitely need insurance for those.
Oh yeah, the Joe was especially after you had a couple beers. Those stairs got much steeper. Well, you're
I don't speak from
They were,
experience.
yeah, they were very shallow treads. That's for sure.
you're balancing your nachos and your salted pretzel, and you're trying to walk down those stairs. Yeah, you could you could get on the news real quick.
No kidding.
On the Jumbotron. Oh my goodness. Okay, so back to insurance policies. So what is your recommendation then, Chris, for people? So, because I'm curious to know if, I've had a heart event. I call my insurance company and say, hey, I've had a heart event. Am I covered? There's going to be,
Some premium changes or something.
Yeah.
There's going to be exactly. I mean, the first thing is you want to contact your insurer to find out and disclose to them the situation, so that there's no sense hiding it, because they're going to find out about it. So you talk to them. A phone call is nice. I prefer things in writing, so I generally suggest people email back and forth. Then you have an exact copy of the conversation. But let them know. It might be something where they say, okay, this has changed, but we'll accept it. Generally, with most of these travel insurance companies, if it's very complicated, you'll actually talk to a nurse or someone who's specially trained to assess your medical condition, and they can give you a green light or a red light based on that conversation. So it's always best to talk about it. Never assume anything. I always tell all my clients, there are no bad questions. It's ask the question. We deal with this all the time. That's what we get paid to do, is answer questions about very complicated contracts. So
Right.
you always reach out and ask the question, rather than find out that you're on the hook for $650,000 US.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that's some good advice, Chris. If people want to reach out to you, or if they have questions about their insurance requirements, how can they do that?
The easiest way is you can pick up the phone, 736, or I should say area code 519-736-8228. Or if it's easier, if you want it in writing, then email me. It's chris@gibbinsurance.ca.
Awesome. Thanks so much, Chris. We appreciate you. Thanks for joining us. And I guess I'm sure we'll see you around town, but we'll have you back on in a couple of weeks.
Absolutely. We'll see you in fabulous downtown Amherstburg later today.
Perfect.
Absolutely.
Sounds great. That's Chris Gibb from Gibb Insurance Brokers in Amherstburg. Always awesome to have him on the show with us. We're going to take another quick break. But before we go, I'm going to let you know that we'll be giving away a gift card for the Richmond Popcorn Company when we come back. We're going to say caller number what, Aaron?
87.
Try again.
Let's go with number 8.
Caller number 8. Caller number 8 will be eligible for a gift card to the Richmond Popcorn Company in Amherstburg.
And there's that new flavor. Was it sugar and spice that just
Sugar
came
and
out?
spice just came out.
We're picking up a bag this afternoon.
Yes,
Okay.
we will do that. Okay, so caller number 8 at 519-792-2559 will win a gift card to the Richmond Popcorn Company. And we're going to go over the market stats when we come back, so stay tuned.